What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at the most expensive cards from OP-04. We've finally seen the release of OP-04 over in Japan. We've given it a few days to settle, and now we can have a look at which cards are the most expensive. One of which makes me sad, because unfortunately my personal chase card from the set, which, let's be clear, is just the one on the screen right now, the alternate art leader Nefertari Vivi. I love that card. Yeah, that's a bit more expensive than I was hoping it was gonna be, but it's such a cool card. Maybe I'll make an exception and pick it up anyway. Now, there are 3 cards that didn't quite make the list, and they are the alternate art leaders of Queen, Isho, and Don Quixote Doflamingo, but that's actually not the leader. The leader is on the list, but the leader is coming up a little bit later. The leader is significantly more expensive. Now, all of these cards are currently coming in at around about 4,000 yen, but please, at the moment, can we take these as just a very rough comparative guide? So 4,000 yen, we're talking somewhere in the region of about $29. But for the moment, I'm using these as a comparison, so you can see how the cards relate to each other. I don't expect these values to remain that consistent. They will change as more product gets out there, gets into the hands of people, more cards get sold, etc. And certainly in terms of value when this set comes out in English, you should not be using the value of Japanese cards to try and determine the actual value of cards in English. But then using it for the relative value, i.e. which cards are the most expensive, well, that's absolutely fine. That should work very, very nicely indeed. You have been warned. So these cards come pretty close. They're cool cards, but they unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel, do not make the list. If they're cards you want to be picking up, you want to be crossing your fingers and hoping they don't make the list, because if they don't make the list, then that just means they're cheaper and easier for you lovely ladies and gentlemen to pick up. But in at number 10, also at about 4,000 yen, we've got the alternate art of SANJI. The deal, by the way, where the cards look like they are the same value, I'm giving you a rough, approximate value. Please bear in mind, I've checked a number of sites here, and these are just, even when they're listed the same, I've checked other sites as a tiebreaker. Please know that I have kind of figured out the actual list. So SANJI here, 4 cost, 5,000 power. It's a blocker with a trigger that lets you trash a card from your hand and play this card. I mean, Sanji's the main character, everybody loves Sanji, but a blocker that you can play off of a trigger, and a blocker that's got 5,000 power, bearing in mind 5,000 is the minimum that you would expect to get an attack through with, yeah, not bad, ladies and gentlemen, not bad at all. In at number 9, we've got another yellow card. It is the alternate art of YAMATO, which is coming in at about 5,000 yen, which translates to about $36. Now, YAMATO here, obviously everybody loves YAMATO, but this is a big, impressive card. 9 costs, 9,000 power. Yes, you're paying for it. But on play, you KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the total of your life and your opponent's life. Early game, that's actually a 10 cost character, which is the most expensive possible, but obviously this is a 9 cost, you're probably not playing it that early in the game. But then if you have 1 or less life, you can add a card from the top of your deck to your life area. So we've got this wonderful combination of pretty good for taking out characters, oh yeah, and you're recovering life at the same time. That sounds good to me. Now, in at number 8, we've got the alternate art of Nefertari Vivi, which I've actually not shown you yet. This card was revealed quite late, and without getting into a deep discussion about my upload schedule, I just never got round to showing it to you, couldn't do it, and I'm sorry about that. But this is a 7 cost, 4,000 power, and this is a card I adore. Because all of your red characters of a cost of 3 or more, other than this character, gain Rush. I like Rush. Rush allows you to attack the turn you play a character. Rush is my favourite mechanic in every game that doesn't let you attack with characters the turn that you play them. I adore this. This is awesome. And if you're telling me that I can, as early as, say, turn 4, be playing all of my characters with Rush, yeah, that sounds good to me. I am in. Survive for a couple of turns, rush like crazy. This is one of my very favourite cards in the set. In fact, it's my second favourite card in the set. In at number 7, we've got the special card of Law. Now, this one comes in about $6,000. So you're talking about, wait, no, 6,000 yen, which we're talking about $43. $6,000 would be redonk. And this is an alternate art of the one from OP-01. Now, I'm showing you on the screen both the alternate art and the regular from OP-01. This is the 5-cost, 6,000 power blocker that when you play it, you get to return a character to your hand and play a 3-cost character. So the theory is, early in the game, you play like a nice 1-cost support, and then when you play Law, you've got a nice powerful blocker. Remember, 5,000 is the minimum you expect to get an attack through, because ties go to the attacker and leaders generally have 5,000 power. But you also get to replace your nice low-cost support character with a much more impressive, much more powerful character. This is a good thing. We don't know exactly what the Poor HC specials are. We assume it's going to be pretty similar to what they were back in OP-03, which is not hideously rare, not compared to things like the Manga rare, more on that later. But the fact of the matter is, popular character, playable card, lovely special artwork, this kind of makes sense. In at number 6, we've got the alternate art of SABO. Now, I've not got to SABO in the manga. I don't really know who SABO is, truth be told. Don't tell me, no spoilers, all of that. But people seem to like him. And also, this is a very, very good card. What we've got from SABO here is a 5-cost 6,000 power counter plus 1,000 with blocker. And on play, your characters cannot be KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn. And you draw 2 trash 2. Remember, we've got that Luffy in the set that you can essentially restand, but you've got to put 7 cards from your discard on the bottom of your deck. So we want to be discarding cards from our deck. So you've got draw, you've got discard, you've got blocker, and you can protect your characters from KO effects, which happen quite a lot in this game, for a whole turn. And this is just awesome, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely awesome. You can see why people like this one quite a bit. I didn't actually say it, but this is again 6,000, like Law. Now, jumping up to 8,000 yen, we got the special of Bo Hancock. 8,000 yen, you're looking somewhere in the region of about $57. And this is again an alternate art of a card we've seen. It's a Bo Hancock from OP-01. Both of the arts in there are on the screen. The difference here, of course, is the artwork and the fact that it's special and all of that. It's still the same good 4-cost 5,000 power counter plus 1,000 blocker that lets you draw a card if you have 5 or fewer cards in hand when attacking or blocking. DONQUIXOTE, of course. It's a good card. It's a popular character. And I know I keep saying that, but that's a lot of the time what puts these cards up to the top. They need to be really playable if they're not a top-tier character. They don't need to be as playable where they are characters that people like. I didn't make the rules. That's just the way it works. In at 4, we've got the Don Quixote Doflamingo leader alternate art, which comes in at 8,000 yen, which, again, same as we just saw. And one of the things that's important to note about the alternate art leaders, they always end up more expensive. And my theory here is very simply, you only need one of these, and you don't shuffle it into your deck. So your leader can be kept in a big, fancy, hard protective case the entire game, the entire tournament, for the entire time that you own it, and you're only ever going to need one of them. So that basically means that a lot of people are more willing to spend out on the leaders than they are on, say, 4 copies of another alternate art, because they're so much more important. The regular art leaders are always ridiculously cheap, because you get like one of each leader in every box and nobody wants every leader. Oh, that's a lie. Most people don't use every leader, so are willing to sell them. They are, and a lot of people buy more than one box anyway. They always are super cheap. The alternate arts always jump up. Now, Don Quixote Doflamingo here, 5,000 power, purple-green leader, but at the end of your turn, you set up to 2 of your Don cards as active, which of course then leaves them available so that if you want to be using them for event cards, etc., during your opponent's turn, they're absolutely available and ready to go. This is awesome. This is a good leader, one that people are liking the look of, and yeah, leaders are expensive, well, the alternate arts anyway, and that's how we come up here. But then we get to the big leaders. In at number 3, at about 10,000 yen, we've got the alternate art of Rebecca. 10,000 yen comes in at about $72. Now, Rebecca is one of the hype leaders from the set, Plus, the alternate art here is something truly special. Artwork doesn't always have a huge impact in the One Piece TCG. It's often about character and playability. However, I do think that the artwork here may have something to do with it. This is just awesome. Of course, the leaders in this set, the alternate arts, have kind of, well, the crew behind them, but the Rebecca is very cool. Now, it's a 5,000 power, 5 life blue and black leader. Cannot attack, but remember, this is a new thing in this set where you can have 5 life dual color leaders, but they can't attack. But activate main once per turn, pay 1. If you've got 6 or fewer cards in hand, look at 2 cards on the top of your deck, find a Dressrosa card and add it to your hand. Trash the rest, although we've already said that trashing cards, not a bad thing in black now. But the thing is, this is great search, and we've got a bunch of other cards that essentially let you rest your leader to get good things going on, but that doesn't matter because your leader can't attack. This is great. People love the art. It's not cheap. And coming in at roughly the same price, again about 10,000 yen, we've got the alternate art of Nefertari Vivi, the leader. Now this is my chase card for the set. Partly because, come on, if you've seen the anime, if you've read the manga, you'll recognize this. This is one of the coolest moments in One Piece. But also, I adore this leader. Now again, we got 5,000 power, 5 life, dual color red and blue. That means you can't attack. But activate main once per turn, pay 2, draw a card, and give any of your characters rush. I love this. Again, we've got the secret rare, which can give rush to all of your red, free cost or above. But this is going to be out for the beginning of the game, because it's a leader. And it can give it to blue characters, or characters with less than free cost, or whatever. And this is just great. I adore this. This is my chase card for the set. I wish it wasn't so expensive, but it is, and I'm going to have to get over it. But obviously, in at number 1, it's the manga rare SABO. And we talked about SABO, we don't need to go any more into that. But it's the manga rare, it's 80,000 yen, it's $575. And the manga rare is always the most expensive, and the reason here is incredibly simple. The pull rates are so low. And the problem is, I've started reading the manga. I'm currently reading like 10, 15 issues every day. On my trip back from Italy on Monday, I read 35 issues of One Piece. I had a great time. But now I'm getting kind of obsessed with the manga. And that's making me want the manga rares. I can't afford these manga rares. They're well out of my price range. So, if the gods of One Piece kind of want to fix one of my Japanese or English boxes, I'm not fussy. So I get one of the manga rares at some point. That would be okay. I would enjoy that very much indeed. For now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a number 1 card, and because it's a manga rare, as is always the case, it's not even close, it never will be. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me which is your chase card from the set, whether it's on this list or not. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.